Morning and Sairam to all. How are you all? I hope you all are fine. I would like to show my gratitude to all of you for attempting your first online project exam very well. And I hope you will score very good marks in your periodic test. Now, it's time to come back to your daily routine. That means in your online classes. So, let us start. Before periodic test, we have started our second chapter of chemistry. That is ismatterarounduspure. In this video, we will go ahead with our further topics. Before that, what we will do? We will do a quick revision what we have learned in our previous video. So, in previous video, we have seen that your metal can be classified into two types on the basis of their chemical properties. In this chapter, we are studying, classification of metal on the basis of their chemical composition. So, metal can be classified into two types. One is your pure substance and second is your mixture. Clear? First is your pure substance and second is your mixture. Pure substance can be further classified into two types. Number one, element, and number two, compound. Number one, element, number two, compound. And mixture can be further divided into two parts. One is your homogeneous mixture and one is your heterogeneous mixture. So, what we have done in previous video, we have done that metal can be classified into two types on the basis of their chemical properties. Number one, pure substance. Number two, mixture. Pure substance further can be classified into two types. One is your element and one is your compound. And your mixture can be further classified into two types. One is your homogeneous mixture and one is your heterogeneous mixture. So, in previous video, we have done about elements. What are elements? Elements are those type of pure substance. If you will break down that element, it will not divide it into simpler unit. It will not divide it into simpler unit. Take one example. If you will take copper as a copper element, okay. If I will draw the block diagram of copper, it is like this: copper, Cu, 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 Cu. Okay. If I will break down like this, what I will get? I will again get copper. I will not get any simpler unit. Okay. So, elements are those type of pure substance. If you will break down, it will remain as it is. It will not give you any simpler unit. It will not give you any simpler unit. So, elements are those which will not divide it into further smaller units. Clear? Now, elements can be classified into three types. Elements can be classified into three types. Number one, metals. Number two, non-metals. Number three, metalloids. Number one, metals. Number two, non-metals. Number three, metalloids. What are metals? What are metals? Metals are those substances which are malleable, ductile, lustrous, sonorous, good conductor of heat and electricity. These all are the properties of metal. And what are non-metals? Which are not malleable, which are non-ductile, which are non-sonorous, which are non-lustrous, which are bad conductor of heat and electricity. You can say that which are poor conductor of heat and electricity. These all are the properties of non-metals. And what are metalloids? Metalloids are mixture which shows some properties of metals and some properties of non-metal. That is known as your metalloids. Elements can be further divided into how many types? It can be divided into three types. Number one, metals. Number two, non-metals. Number three, metalloids. Metals and non-metals are having just opposite properties of. Okay. And what are metalloids? Metalloids show some properties of metals and some properties of non-metals. So, let us start with new portion. Okay, topics to be covered in this video are compounds, impure substances, mixtures, types of mixtures, differentiate between mixture and compounds. So let us start with compounds. What do you mean by compound? Compound is a pure substance. Clear? First of all, listen carefully. Compound is a pure substance which is made up of two or more types of elements, or you can say which can be made up of two or more types of elements which are chemically bonded. This term is very important. Which are chemically bonded in a fixed proportion. Clear? This is the difference between mixture and compound. In mixture there is no fixed proportion, but in compound there is a fixed proportion. So what is the definition of compound? A compound is a substance. A compound is a substance made up of two or more elements which are chemically bonded in a fixed ratio. Here is the definition. A compound is a substance made up of two or more elements chemically bonded in a fixed proportion by mass. For example, H2O. H2 is symbol of water. Clear? If what is the mass number of water hydrogen? It is 1. How many molecules are there? 2. So 1 into 2 plus ratio nikalna. Ratio. Oxygen is 16. 2 ratio 16 and 1 ratio 8. That means if we want to prepare high water, so it is hydrogen ratio is fixed. That means if hydrogen is 1, so oxygen will be 8. It can't be 9, 10, 11. It is fixed. 1 hydrogen, 6, 8 mass of oxygen. The ratio should be fixed by mass. It cannot be changed. Clear? And it is chemically bonded. You can't separate these compounds by any physical method. You can't separate these compounds by any physical method. If you want to separate hydrogen and oxygen from water, you can separate it. No, you can't separate because they are chemically bonded. Clear? For example, I am reading, what is a compound made up of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen, which are chemically bonded in a fixed proportion of 1 ratio 8 by mass. I showed you. Clear? Another example is sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is your what? It is a common salt which you are using at your home. It is NaCl. It is NaCl. Here ratio is also fixed. What is the symbol? What is the mass number of sodium? It is 23, and chlorine it is 35.5. So here ratio is fixed. Clear? For compound, it is compulsory that ratio should be fixed. If you will change the ratio, you will get a different type of compound. You will not get a same compound. Clear? What you will get? You will get a different type of compound. Some more example of compounds are ammonia. What is the symbol of ammonia? NH3. What is the symbol of ammonia? It is NH3. Sulfur dioxide, SO2. Carbon dioxide, CO2. Calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Clear? So these are the examples, some example of compounds. Here this is copper sulfate and this is sodium chloride. These are the some example of your compound which are chemically bonded together by the fixed mass. You can't separate by any physical method. So what is the definition of compound? The definition of compound is a compound is a substance made up of two or more elements which are chemically bonded in a fixed ratio. Example, water, NaCl, ammonia, NH3, calcium carbonate, CaCO3, copper sulfate, CuSO4. These all are the compounds which are chemically bonded and their ratio is fixed. Shall we move ahead? Properties of compound. What are the properties of compound? See, first property is I told you that all compound cannot be separated into its constituent by a physical method. I told you, if I will take the example of NaCl, this is your common salt. If I want to separate sodium and chlorine separately, I can't do by any physical method. Clear? So your compound cannot be separated by any physical method. Second property, the properties of compound are entirely different those of its constituent elements. Take same example, NaCl. See, NaCl is a compound, okay, which are made up of two types of element. One is your sodium and one is your chlorine. If we will see the properties of sodium and the property of chlorine, okay, it is entirely different from the property of NaCl. Clear? That means if we are combining two or more elements together chemically by a fixed proportion, their properties will entirely different from the reactants. Clear? The property is entirely different from the reactants. So what is your first property? Your first property is your compound cannot be separated by any physical method. Second, the property of compound are entirely different from those of its constituent elements. Clear? Now, if the elements are chemically combined or chemically held together, so either they will absorb heat or they will give out heat. Energy is usually either given out or absorbed during the preparation of chemical compound. If you are preparing any type of chemical compound, either heat will absorb or heat will evolve. Okay, या तो heat निकलेगी या तो heat absorb हो जाएगी. Clear? Energy is usually ideal given out or absorbed during the preparation of chemical compound. Next, the composition of compound is fixed. This thing I already told you that you can't change the composition. That means if you want to prepare water, the ratio is fixed, 1:8. You can't change the ratio. If you will change the ratio, if you will like H3O, here 3:16, it will not form up water. It will form hydrogen peroxide. Clear? Now, the composition of compound is fixed. The constitution are present in a fixed proportion by mass. I think this point is very clear to you. Next, the compound has fixed melting and boiling point. If the proportion is fixed, that means it will start melting or it will start boiling at the same point, because there is no impurity. The compound is pure, and every pure compound has a fixed melting point. So a compound has fixed melting or boiling point. Clear? If there is any impurity will be present, then the melting and boiling point will change. Clear? A compound is a homogeneous substance. You can't see hydrogen separately and oxygen separately. Homogeneous means completely mixed with each other. You can't see the difference. Clear? So what are the properties of compound? First property is it cannot be separated by physical method. Second property is, yes, the compound having entirely different properties from the constituent. Second, either heat will absorbed or evolve during the preparation of chemically combined compound. Third, the composition is fixed by mass. Fourth, a compound has fixed melting or boiling point. A compound is a homogeneous substance. Now, go ahead, and our next topic is impure substance. Impure substance, basically it is known as your mixture. First point is pure substance. M will also come. Impure substance is also known as your mixture. A mixture, a substance which constitutes of two or more element compound not chemically bonded together. I told you what is the difference between compound and mixture. Compound is also made up of two or more different type of element, and mixture is also. But in compound your ratio is fixed and they are chemically combined. and impure substance, or you can say in mixture, they are not fixed by mass, okay, and they are not chemically bonded. You can separate these type of mixture by any physical method, okay. All solutions are mixture. Example of mixture: salt solution. If you will dissolve salt in water, it will completely mix, but if you want to make again that salt, what you will do? With the help of distillation, you can get it back. Clear? So what are the example of impure substance? The example of impure substance are salt solution, sugar solution, LPG, biogas. These all are the example of impure substance. Clear? Now, the various substances present in a mixture are known as constituent. I told you hydrogen, H2, it is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. So these are the constituent of this compound. That means if I am talking about what are the constituent of water, so you will say it is hydrogen and oxygen. Clear? Now I told you your mixture can be further divided into two types. One is your homogeneous mixture and one is your heterogeneous mixture. One is your homogeneous mixture and one is your heterogeneous mixture. So move to the homogeneous mixture. So what do you mean by homogeneous mixture? Homogeneous mixture means which are completely mixed with each other. Homogeneous means completely mixed with each other. So those mixture in which the substance are completely mixed together and we can't find any differentiate from one another are called homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture has uniform composition throughout its mass. That means they are completely mixed with each other. That it indicates, if I will take water and I will dissolve potassium permanganate, after some time you will see the whole water color become pink evenly. That means that potassium permanganate dissolve completely and evenly throughout the solution. You can't see somewhere it is more, somewhere it is light pink, somewhere it is dark pink. The pink is entirely same for the whole solution. Clear? I am reading once more. Those mixture in which the substance are completely mixed together and are indifferentiate from one another are called homogeneous mixture. A homogeneous mixture has uniform composition throughout by its mass. Clear? Now, a mixture of two or more miscible liquids. Miscible means completely mixed with each other. Flowers is also known as homogeneous mixture. Clear? If a liquid completely mixed with each other. Okay, for example, your alcohol and water. If you will dissolve alcohol, if you will mix alcohol and water, have you seen a difference? Have you seen alcohol different and water different? No, you can't see. That means that is completely mixed with each other. They are completely miscible. Okay, you can't differentiate between water and alcohol in that mixture. So you can say that a mixture of two more miscible liquid is your example of homogeneous mixture. All homogeneous mixture are called solution. All homogeneous mixture are called solution. Example: sugar solution, salt solution, acetic acid. Acetic acid is your vinegar. Acetic acid is your vinegar. And what is the formula of acetic acid? It is CH3COOH. It is CH3COOH. Lemon juice, kerosene, etc. These all are the example of homogeneous mixture or solution, because when you will mix it, they will mix completely. You can't see any differentiate after mixing. Clear? Now move to heterogeneous mixture. What are the heterogeneous mixture? Heterogeneous mixture are those in which you can see the difference. That means they are not completely mixed with each other. Okay, they are not completely mixed with each other. This type of mixture is known as your heterogeneous mixture. So what is the definition of heterogeneous mixture? Those mixture in which the substance remains separate and one substance is separate throughout the other substance as small particles, droplets and bubbles are called heterogeneous mixture. For example, chalk in water. If you will take 1 glass of water and you will mix chalk in it, make powder of chalk and start dissolving it, have you that chalk will dissolve? No. You will see water differently and chalk will different. And another example is sand and water. If you will start dissolving sand in water, what will happen? Sand will settle down and wet water will come out. It will not mix with each other. Clear? You can see the two different layers. One layer is of sand and one layer is of water. Clear? So heterogeneous mixture are those mixture in which your constituents are not mixed properly, or you can say they are insoluble. Example, chalk in water, sand in water. Clear? Next, a mixture containing 2 or more immiscible liquid is also heterogeneous mixture. Clear? For example, petrol in water, oil in water. See, if you will take 2 liquid, for example, you will take oil and water. If you will start dissolving oil in water, it will not dissolve. The oil will come at the upper side of the water. Okay, so they are not completely mixed with each other. You can see 2 types of layer. One is of water and one is of your oil. So those type of liquid mixture which are not completely mixed with each other, you can see that 2 different layer, 2 or more different layers. Those type of liquid solution is also called as your heterogeneous solution, or heterogeneous. In solid it is known as your heterogeneous mixture. Now a mixture can be separated into its constituent by physical method. In compound you cannot separate by physical method, but in mixture you can separate by your physical method. Okay, for example, filtration, evaporation, sublimation. I will give you the example. If you will dissolve salt in water and if you want that salt back, what you will do? You will do by distillation. Clear? In mixture, if you will mix the different type of constituent, in this your energy neither be taken out nor be given out. Clear? So in general, energy is usually neither given out or not observed in the preparation of mixture. Clear? The composition of mixture is variable. The ratio is not fixed. Clear? And it can be present in any ratio, 1:8, 2:8, 2:3. It's your choice. Clear? A mixture does not have fixed melting and boiling point. Why? If the ratio is not fixed, how it can be give your melting point and boiling point as a fixed? Your ratio is changing now. Clear? So it depends upon the ratio. Clear? Now differentiate between compounds and mixture. Compounds are formed as a result of chemical reaction between 2 or more elements or compound. And mixture, they are not chemically bonded. They are just there is no reaction between the constituent. Present in a definite ratio, not present in a definite ratio. Homogeneous mixture, heterogeneous mixture. Compound, either heat or light or energy will given out or absorbed, no this type of reaction. Okay, melting and boiling point are fixed. Melting and boiling point cannot be fixed. They can be separated by mechanical, cannot be separated by physical or mechanical. They can be separated by only chemical method. Compounds can be separated by only chemical method, but your mixture can be separated by chemical or physical method. Clear? I think with this, mixture and compound clear to you. Compounds are chemically combined. Mixtures are not chemically combined. Ratio are fixed. Ratio are not fixed. Okay, you cannot separate by physical method. You can separate by physical method. I think with this, compound and mixture is clear to you. If I will take the example of alloys. Alloy is what? Alloy is mixture of different type of elements. For example, brass. Clear? See, brass is a mixture of zinc and copper. Clear? So it is a heterogeneous mixture. Why? Because it will show the property of copper and zinc. It will not show some different property. Clear? So your alloy is always a mixture. And which type of mixture is this? It is a heterogeneous mixture. Alloy is a heterogeneous mixture. I think with this everything is clear to you. What is compound, what is mixture, what is element, what is metal, what is non-metal. If you are having any doubt, you can contact me or you can ask anytime. Thank you. and have a nice day.